Good afternoon, YouTubers. I'm here at one of my favorite spots here, Indian Mound Park, and I'm going to do an update and check, see if we have any more diggers. I know we most definitely have a lot of fishermen down here today as we have beautiful weather. It's currently about 49 degrees with only a light breeze. Which makes for a beautiful day for a hike. And I wanted to go back here, and I'm gonna check and see if any of the illegal digging is still happening, see what's going on with that. So for today's hike, I am traveling a little bit lighter than what I normally would. I've been going through a whole lot of health problems lately, and I've spent most of the last 3 days in medical appointments and hospitals, in and out. But I won't bore you with the details on that. It's a beautiful day to go into the woods, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm expecting to run across some fishermen with as many cars as I see up here, and possibly even some people just walking on the trail. Okay, so that being said, December 15th, got a lot of the vegetation dead and has been tamped down from a good-sized snowstorm that we had earlier. What I was saying was I am traveling a little bit lighter, but I do have the mucks to go through any mud, and I'm carrying a 9mm with bear loads, carrying a can of pepper spray and a very nice and quick reactive knife. In some previous videos, I had to I turned the video off because I had some encounters with, I'd say homeless people, but that the reality was they were convicted felons. Tried to triangle me and actually forced me to draw my gun in self-defense. Now, this is the illegal digging site. Okay, now because of the leaf cover, it's gonna make it very hard to take care of. This has been reported to the metro parks. Now look at these, there's a lot of these old bottles right here. I don't recall these being here last time like this. Those are set out for somebody to take. Okay, so I'm not sure if there's been any new activity. Actually, the way this hole looks, I'd say they may have been here. The metro parks has pretty much said, there's a little squirrel running through, pretty much said they don't really give a crap. And they don't really want to hear me complain about it. So, although this is illegal digging on a Indian burial mound in a historical site in Conneaut, Metro Park said it's not big enough for them. So they don't want to really hear me calling about it. I imagine if they started getting a bunch of calls about it, maybe they would do something about it. So, Ashtabula County Metro Parks, I don't have their number on hand. But I would say if you don't like that this beautiful park is being destroyed by a group of convicted felons that pretty much I have been spent most of this year tracking down, please give them a call and complain about it, because they don't want to hear from me anymore. But maybe if they start hearing from multiple other people, I think they'll start to care a little bit. One voice they'll ignore, but if it's many voices, then maybe they'll react. So it does look like there's a little bit of new activity. They have dug a little bit over here. Weather probably has hampered them from doing their digging. I know that these guys are actually digging in other spots around the town. These people are just pretty much raping the woods and countryside of Conneaut. I'm not being harsh at all about that, because look at this. And they're doing this in many other spots around along the Conneaut Creek. And just kind of disgusts me, especially because this is a place I really do love. All right, as a quick update on the illegal digging. So it's still happening, and Metro Parks has still done nothing about it. This old bridge up here, this is actually a very beautiful bridge. It's closed down because it's just obsolete from the Route 7 bridge and its age. This is it is a cool looking old bridge. See, there's a guy walking his dogs over here. This is actually a pretty good place to do that. If you hear the sound of my voice is a little bit rough, that is from one of my conditions due to my military service. Been one of my problems. I started to sound like RFK Jr. for some reason, and they've been unable to figure out exactly what's going on with me yet, but they're going to be sending me through a lot of tests. Well, seeing a couple of dogs come through here like that means that kind of wrecks me checking for some of the wildlife tracks on the path anyway, because I know those are probably dogs. Again, those steelhead trout are still running very good, and this is called Steelhead Alley. There's one of the best spots in Ohio and on Lake Erie to be able to do this type of fishing. This is the Conneaut Creek. So, right up on top of this hill here is City Cemetery. In terms of inhabitants of this area, this is one of the oldest inhabited areas up here and over around here, where some of the first areas settled in the city. The oldest spot is in the harbor, where Moses Cleveland landed, the original landing party to establish a fort here in Conneaut. Got a good spot of looking at the water. It's actually very clear. Sometimes when you get up close to the water like this, you'll even be able to see these steelhead that'll run anywhere from a foot to 2 feet long. They're a good sized fish. I think some of them are even longer than that. But not seeing any over here. The water level has gone down a little bit as we've had a few dry days, but we have a lot of wet weather coming up. A lot of storms coming and some snow coming into next week. So the weather being like it is today, this is a day that it's like you got to get out and enjoy this while you can, because 50 degrees, actually it says 50, Weather Channel was saying 52 degrees in December. That's definitely way above average. So when you get this kind of weather, you gotta jump on it and enjoy it. The path is it's not too muddy. I kind of thought it would be a little bit more. You got this big tree going across the, that's interesting how that, I mean, look at that. There's nowhere where it broke off. I mean, it broke off of this guy over here. But boy, that's a big jump. And it's just how it's caught between two trees there and hung across in that tree. You talk about a perfect fall. That's just an absolute perfect fall. And that's a big, heavy piece of that tree. So, but I think that's called a 1 in a million shot. And I guess if you believe in coincidences, we'll just call it a 1 in a million shot. There is a good chance I might run across some of the deer in here. I've done that, run across a lot in here throughout this year. And as it's hunting season, any of the deer that hang out over here are much smarter ones, because there's no legal hunting around here in this park. So I wasn't sure what I was going to get in terms of how muddy or dry this would be. It looks like it's fairly dry. So this is new here. This happened recently. After, I'm not sure, I can't remember when my last hike was through here, but this was not down when that happened. So that's within the last few weeks that this fell. Probably in one of our big storms, we had some high winds. Maybe in the one where Connie got about 7 inches of heavy wet lake effect snow. That, along with some high winds, definitely could takes down trees. I like this spot here. Now this has kept water in it all summer long, but this is just more of one of the ice flow lakes. It's predominantly where this got its water, is from last year's winter, and it's just held on to the water and held on to it all summer long. Yeah, I can see a lot of dog tracks on the trail, so that makes it harder to check and see. There's a lot of people been down here. I see a lot of human traffic, prints too. And unfortunately, people just think it's a good idea to litter. So usually I love to go down and check for tracks. Right now, unfortunately, my area to check is pretty contaminated. And I'd have to get to an area where I don't think any of the dogs were, which I don't think I'm gonna be able to do today. I think I'm going to stay on the path. Now how this path goes, it loops around. So it follows along the Cognac Creek for quite a ways and then takes a left turn into the woods and finally until you bend around in the woods and start heading back east, as we're currently heading kind of more in a westward direction. So I'm trying to keep a lookout here. Listen, it's really very quiet back here, and it's good. There's not much of a breeze. So this would be the good time to, if there's any deer hanging back here, this would be a good time. Of course, those dogs that were just through here probably scared anything away. I'll pan around just how you can see there's another little ridge line all going along here. This is not as flat as you'd think, and especially when you get up here a little bit, it's what we used to be and was for several centuries, farmland. But it's still not quite as flat as you'd think it would be. See, here's where that little ridge line meets the path up here as we're starting to take our left turn in away from the creek. I like seeing just how this has changed from when I started videoing the walks here in the springtime, all through the summer and through the fall, and now into the early part of winter. Just seeing how this wooded area changes over the winter. Now, you normally in the summertime you can't see this at all, but right over here you can see in the background. I'll even zoom in on it. You can see COYO. It's on the other side. It's on the opposite side of the creek, and it's opposite of the main Indian Mound. I say main Indian Mound because there's some other kind of unnatural mounds all back here that are theorized to be from the Indian activity. See, this path we meander through right up to the edge of the actual Indian Mound. And that is of the main Indian Mound. So this is actually right over here, and I'll actually start to walk up on it a little bit. This is actually part of the base of the Indian Mound. This is actually the Indian Mound is almost like in the shape of like a triangle or an arrowhead. That's what it looks like on there. And this is actually one of the arrowhead points. Sure, I probably have said that before. And, you know, I might as well. You can walk down this way up over to the edge. It's still on the Metro Park property. If I start heading up the ridge line to the mound, I will leave the property. So try to not do that. So this is the base, and if I continued following up along there, that goes up that way, goes all the way up to the main Indian mound. And this is it's just a good view. You can see COYO right across from me. And we're say this part of this is the part that we're at one of the points of the Indian mound, the main Indian mound. So again, we got some bad weather coming up. We have Christmas coming up. We have all kinds of stuff, New Year's, all kinds of other stuff coming up here that I don't want to say interfere with taking hikes as much as because it's actually a joy to have a lot of the stuff to do with family. But it does take away from time where you can just go out into the woods and take a hike. And some of the weather conditions are like that too. We've had some we've had some days that were dry but very high winds, and a very dangerous time to take a walk in the woods is during high winds. Main reason is because that's how you have a big branch fall on you. And while the odds are low, they're not zero, especially when it's windy. So also it really reduces your hearing. Also makes the video difficult because I do a lot of the videos of the ships, and it's always windy by the lake. And it definitely lessens the quality of video when you have the high winds. This is perfect. This is absolutely perfect day. And realizing I maybe even overdressed a little bit because I wore my fleece coat. And that was probably unnecessary. Now this area that we're in now, and that's why if you look back, try to look through the woods, you can see where the base of the mound is, but it's just kind of woods that go on for a while. And that's because this used to be predominantly a cornfield. So there is the gas well. There's a gas well up over here, which, by the way, is still in use and still regular. And there is a guy who regularly comes back here to check that. There is the old. That was an old hunting stand made. It was made by the Johnsons. The Johnson family, who owned this property for several decades. The ones who donated it to Metro Parks. So you can see over here, you see the top of the fence around the gas well. pipes. As you can see, there's a nice pathway all through here. That's why so many people will take their dogs. I'm trying to look at tracks here and seeing if we have deer track or no. It's hard to tell, and because there's been so much other activity from humans and dogs, it's hard to tell whether that's what the prints are from. So I'm almost out. Here, again, this is a kind of a short hike. The loop goes just about a mile. I think because of my heading in to check out where the digging is, I cover about a mile. And I can see my car coming up here. So I'll start to end it here. I appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, and share. Send us around. Share this on pretty much any platform or social media you can. I'd like other people to watch this and see this. See the beauty of Conneaut, see the beauty of the woods in northeast Ohio. And just experience just all the beautiful things in this section of our beautiful country. All right, we're up here to the main well. Thank you for watching. Get out and enjoy the weather while you can. Enjoy, if all too soon it's going to be snow, and or it looks like coming up rain and snow. It's going to be yucky weather. So get out and enjoy it while you can. All right. God bless you. Thank you for watching.